Good. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our session today. We hope that you're going to enjoy our discussion today on how you can use Google Workspaces for your business. We'd like to apologize. We're running a little late. We were experiencing some technical problems, but I think we are okay now. So we are going to go through with our session. My name is Pindile Wagwamavundla from Schoolnet South Africa. With me today is my colleague Quintress Sefala, who will be assisting with questions and comments in the chat box. So please do feel free to ask questions or write your comments using our chat box. Okay, so as we mentioned earlier that our topic for today is use Google Workspace across your business. Let's now look at the agenda for today. Today we are going to look at what is Google Workspace and also how it can be based, how it can be used to boost communication across your business. Then we will look at the tools. Then we'll look at the tools that you can use to increase collaboration among the team at your workplace. Okay, we are now going to start with our session. And before we start, I'm going to remind you of our free one-on-one mentoring that is available from Google. So if you own a small business or a charity, please do sign up for Google Mentoring. There is the link on your screen, and we will try also to copy the link and paste it on our chat box. Yeah, so if you own a small business or a charity, please do sign up for the free one-on-one mentoring that is available from Google. Okay, so now we're going to start. And before we go further into our discussion for today, I'd like to find out from you, what tools do you currently use to communicate and collaborate within your business? What tools are you currently using for your business to collaborate and to communicate with your business partners, with your colleagues at work? What tools are you using to communicate and to collaborate with your business, in your business? It could be with your partners, it could be with your colleagues as well. I know in our organization we like using Skype, and we use Google a lot for our communication and collaboration, which makes things easier for us, especially when we are not together, when we're working from home, as we currently are doing. So let me know, what tools do you currently use at your business, please? Okay, we're now going to look at discovering Google Workspace. We're going to look at what is Google Workspace. Maybe some of you are already using Google Workspace, and if so, how are you using it? Do you know what Google Workspace is, and are you using Google Workspace? Let us know. You can use our chat box, and we will look at your comments and your questions. If your organization or your business is already using Google Workspace, if you know what is Google Workspace, please do share with us, and let us know, how are you using Google Workspace? Okay, we're going to now look at Google Workspace. We're going to look at the meaning or the description of Google Workspace, and look at what is it used for. So Google Workspace used to be called G Suite before. So it is now called Google Workspace, but before it was called G Suite, and it's an example of a digital workspace. Digital workspaces enables people to work online wherever there is a stable internet connection or connectivity. So Google Workspace will work where there is a stable connectivity, and it is online, so you can work anywhere you are. using Google Workspace. And also Google Workspace in particular is a collection of cloud computing, productivity and collaboration tools. So if we're talking about Google Workspace, excuse me, we're looking at cloud computing, we're looking at productivity, and we're looking at all the collaborative tools that are available for you to utilize. It also enables users to create documents. You can create documents like spreadsheets or slides as well, and a whole lot more of other documents. And we will be going through some of those documents that you can use on Google Workspace. And you can also store data. You can also store some data, some files, and information safely and securely. So Google Workspace also is very safe and secure. If you know that you have stored your files and your files there, you are using Google Workspace, you know that it's guaranteed that your files or the information that you stored there is safe and secure. So now we are going to see which tools are included within Google Workspace. Now that we know what Google Workspace is and how it can be used by businesses or organizations, let's now look at the tools that are available on Google Workspace. We're going to look at some of these tools clockwise. We have Google Docs, where you can use as your documents or store your documents. We have Gmail, which is used for emails and other functionalities. We have Google Calendar. We have also Google Drive and Google Meet, Google Keep. We have chats. We have Gemboard, admin console, sheets, slides, sites, and also Google Forms. So we're looking at it clockwise. So when you look clockwise, you'll see that we're starting with our Google Documents, going all the way to Google Forms. There are a few other tools included, such as your Google Current, which we'll discuss a bit later on. But these tools are the main ones found on Google Workspace, and they are the ones that are more useful for businesses and or organizations. So now that we know which tools are available, let's check out the core functionality now of Google Workspace. What is it exactly that Google Workspace can assist or can be used for collaboration and communication as well? Okay, so now we are going to look at the core functionality of Google Workspace. We're going to look at what is it that Google Workspace is there for. How can businesses use Google Workspace? With Google Workspace, you can create documents. Like we said before, that there are documents like your spreadsheets that you can create on Google Workspace. So you can create some documents, important documents that the company is using for collaboration. You can even create presentations as well. You can record, analyze, and present data on Google Workspace. You can even brainstorm ideas with your team, manage projects that you are busy with currently, and store files on Google Workspace. You can even as well communicate globally. You can communicate with your employees or your team that is around, and even globally, especially if you are a kind of business that works not just in a particular area. So you can communicate anywhere with your team. Let's now take a minute to focus on the first point, which is create documents and presentation. Google Docs, we will now look at Google Docs first. So we have here some of the two documents that you can create on Google Workspace, which is Google Documents and Google Slides. Okay, so Google Docs and Slides can both be used to create documents and presentations. With Google Docs, we're looking at the word processing for Teams, where you can be using your word processor for Teams. We're looking at creating and editing text document directly in your browser. So with Google Documents, you can create and even edit the text that you have created directly from your browser. So you don't have to download your Word document. You can just create it, and if there are updates or edits that are required, you can just do it directly from the browser. So no, there is no dedicated software that is needed. You just need to use it on your browser. Several people can work at the same time. So if you're creating a document, you can share it with your teammates or your co-workers. Then people that are required to maybe add some edits as well can work on the same document at the same time, which will be saving a lot of time for your team. Every change that you make is saved automatically on the cloud. So you don't need to keep on clicking on save or making sure that your work is saved. As you are making some changes, your work is automatically saved on the cloud. And you can also work on a single document with the team members or people outside your company. So the people that you're sharing or giving rights to edit or to work with on your document, it doesn't have to be only the people in your company. You can even share with people from outside your company, maybe your clients, if your company has clients. So everyone can work on this single document. You don't have to keep sending each other different documents. And like we said, you only need to be working on your browser. There is no special software that is required. And you also are able to see edits as others are typing or as they happen. So as people are busy or working on the document, you can see the edits or the changes that they are making. You can communicate through the built-in chat and ask questions by included comments. So there is a built-in chat in the Google Doc that you can use to chat with people as you are working with them on the document. Then you are able to also chat and ask some questions about the edits that they are doing. So communication is easy as you are working there. There's a built-in chat that you can use to communicate with the people or your colleagues that you are working with on this document. Let's now look at Google Slides, where you can create and edit some great polished presentation in your browser as well. Like we said, again, same with Google Documents. There is no special software required. You can work on your browser with Google Slides as well. And several people can work at the same time so that everyone always has the latest version of the presentation. Also, you can work on a single presentation online with your business partners, your team, or even some external contacts. You control who gets permission to edit, view, or just add comments. So when you are sharing the document or your presentation or your Google Slides, you are able to give control or permission to people that you want. You can decide that this team will get to edit the document, and this maybe few people will only be able to view the document, or some of them will just be able to add some comments, not edit, but they can just add some comments. So you decide how you control your documents, who do you give permission to, and for what. And more intuitive and user friendly than a normal PPT. So with the Google Slides, you get more it's more interactive, and it has more use and more strategies than you would find in your normal PPT. Okay, let's now look at also Google Forms and Google Sheets, which are some of the documents that you can use to analyze, record, and present data. Okay, we'll first look at Google Forms. So, like I said, Google Forms and Sheets can both be used to record data, to analyze some data, and to even present the data once it has been finalized and ready. With Google Forms, they are very easy to create, and you can use it to create some surveys and forms for everyone. You can collect data with ease. So once you have created your survey and you shared it, it's very easy to collect responses or data that you needed. You are able to create custom forms for surveys and questionnaires at no extra cost. So you don't have to pay for this. You can just create your questionnaire and send it out. You gather everything in a spreadsheet and analyze data directly in Google Sheets. We know how easy it is to analyze data from Google Sheets or a spreadsheet. So once you've gathered your information, you are able to open or check it on a spreadsheet. You gather it on forms and you are able to get it as a spreadsheet and be able to analyze data easy. You can create a form easy like you would create any document that you are used to. You select from multiple question types, drag and drop to reorder questions as you want, and you can customize values as easy as posting a list. So with Google Forms, you are able to select from a number of question types. For example, if you want your questions, or maybe you are creating a questionnaire, you can decide whether you are making it a multiple choice or you want people to create some long answer to respond with long or short answers. You decide, okay, from the types of questions that are there, and you are able to drag and drop, sorting it as the way that you want it. Let's now look at Google Sheets, which is a collaborative, smart, secure, and fast moving a way of collaboration. So with a Google Sheets, you can be collaborative and it's secure, and it's for fast moving organizations because it's easy to analyze data from there. The sheets that are available on Google Sheets are designed with the need of agile organizations in mind. All features mean you can tap into the right insights to make meaningful business decisions. And it is a cloud-based a type of collaboration, and you can collaborate with anyone, anytime, and anyway. So with Google Sheets as well, that we don't need to be only sharing with the people within your organization. You can collaborate with anyone. Doesn't matter where they are, because you only need a browser. You don't need a special app or anything. Google Sheets are also also have a compatibility with external systems as well, including Microsoft Office. So you don't also here need to have anything special. As long as you have your Microsoft Office, it is compatible with any other external systems, not just with Google. And it also has it is also built on top of Google's infrastructure. So Sheets gives you the freedom to create while helping to keep your information secure. So with Google Sheets as well, you can create documents as much as you want, and your information will be safe. Whether you are planning an event or sharing the latest figures with your employees or with your partners, the Google Sheets will make it seamless for teams to work together. You can easily add collaborators to projects. You will be able to see some changes as they occur, receive notifications for edits that happen while you are away, and chat with colleagues in the same document, like you said you could do with your Google Docs as well. So all changes in Google Sheets as well will automatically be saved as you make them. And with Office offline access, which is also available, you can work offline, you can create documents, you can view them, you can edit files wherever and wherever you want. So now that we've seen some of the documents that are useful for your organization that you can use on Google Workspace, what are now the benefits that are brought by Google Workspace? What benefits do you get from using Google Workspace as an organization? Okay, so with the Google Workspace, you get increased collaboration. So the quality of the way you communicate or collaborate with your team is increased and improved. Your communication as well will be improved. We've already said how easy it is to communicate even while you are working on a document. They are there are chats within the documents that you can use to communicate, and while you are collaborating, working together with your team. So it increase your collaboration as a team and improve communication as well. It is a very smart way of working. Instead of exchanging different documents all the time, someone else will work on a certain a document, and then they will email or send to you, and you have to work on it, and then you're trying to put this document together. So with using a Google Workspace is a very smart way of working, because you are able to work in the same document at the same time. That is very smart, if you ask me. And also, security is very improved. We did say how secure are your documents on Google Workspace. So now let's look at each of these benefits individually. We're looking at the first benefits, which we said it is increased collaboration. With Google Workspace, we did it say that it stores your information in the cloud. It enables you to share documents and files with ease. So with Google Workspace, you save your documents are saved on the cloud, and it's very easy to share. You just have to create a document, click on share, and you send it to the people that you want to give access to. It is, you just simple share a file, link or URL, or share documents and files via email. And also it encourages teams to collaborate and share ideas very easy. And you can restrict editing access. So certain people can only view the document, or they can only comment, or if you want them to edit, of course, you give them those rights to edit. So you can restrict the document and give rights as you see fit. You are able to also track some changes. You can comment with some of the ideas and work with colleagues across projects at the same time in the same documents. No exchanging of a lot of documents as well. Okay, let's look at now how a Google Workspace improves communication in the business. So Google Workspace has a number of communication tools included in its offering. So we'll look at each of these later on while we continue with our presentation. But the core communication tools that are offered, they include your Gmail, which is Google's email tool, your Google Meet, which is a video conferencing tool, your Google Currents, which is a revolutionary technology to increase deeper communication in the business. And also there is Google Chats, which is an instant messages that you can use. Okay, so that's how a Google will improve your Google Workplace improves communication in the business. Let's now look at how does it help you to work smarter. Using Google Workspace will help your team to work smart, not hard. Like we said, it is very easy to collaborate. You can collect, analyze, and turn data into insights, both from customers and from your team or your business partners. So your data is safe there, and you can just collect it very easy, and you use it and analyze the data and use it as you see it fit. You can also streamline your workflows and processes, store and manage files, communicate and collaborate via one central system. So you can use Google Workspace as your central system as a business. That is where you will have all your documents stored, so you know where to find your information. You are able to manage all those files. Like you said, you are able to give rights to people as you see fit. You are able to communicate. We did say there are communication tools that are there on Google Workspace that you can use, and you can collaborate. And we said this will increase your collaboration and your communication as well. So you will also be able to prevent some threats before they happen with proactive security tools powered by Google. There are tools that you can use by Google, which will assist you to prevent some threats that can happen or before they even happen. People can find the exact files that they are looking for, the exact content that they want, and knowledge that they need on Google Workspace. It is a built-in so they, like we said, that there is also a built-in AL that will help everyone who is working with your data, and it will also turn your data into insights, which means you can be able to analyze your data and find some answers that you require that will assist you to make some changes in your business if you need to make some improvement. Okay, so now let's look at how Google Workspace enhances security in your business. You can secure or store your files securely on Google Workspaces. So you can store your documents, you can store your files and your data on the cloud via Google Drive. So that is where you'll be able to store your files and your documents and all the data that you need to store. You can use admin console to centralize your administration. You can use integrated cloud identity features to manage users and set up security options like your two-step verification, or set up some security keys that will allow your data or your documents to be even more safe. You are able to protect your organization with security analytics and best practice recommendations within the security center on Google Workspace. And also you can identify and prevent some threats that may happen. And you can do this before they even happen by using Google powered AL. So now that we know the benefits of Google Workspace, how do we set up our Workspace account? How does your business or you and your employees or you and your business partners or you and your team get to use Google Workspace? How do you set it up for your business? Let's now look at that. Okay, to create your Google Workspace account, we are going to follow the 6 steps. Yeah, we're going to follow the 6 steps that are there, and we're going to go through each one of the steps now. Okay, so to create your Google Workspace account, you need to visit that link over there, which is workspace.google.com/sign up.business SSCARTER business matter. Once you've done this, click on get started and follow the steps that follow after that. First, you enter your core business details. What is your business name? A number of employees that you have in your business, and where is your business located. So this is now your core business, where you enter these business details, your business name, number of employees, the location of your business as well. Once you've done that, you now add your contact details. This is where you will add your name, first name, last name, your email address, and your contact number as well. Then you move on to choose your domain. Either one you will choose either one you've bought or a suggested one. So you can choose either a domain that you have bought for your business or the one that Google will suggest for you. Then next step number 5, you need to update your business address. And then lastly, choose your username and password. So this is where now you will be setting up your login details. So those are the 6 steps that you need to follow when you are creating your Google Workspace account. You go to the URL provided there, you put in your business details, the name of your business, number of employees, the location of your business. You add your contact details, first name, last name, your email address, your contact number. You choose your domain. You can buy a domain or you can use the one suggested to you. Then you update your business address and choose the username or password, which will be you setting up your login details for your account. Okay, so once you have registered, now you need to get set up on Google Workspace. So after registering and getting your username and password, now you need to get your business set up. First, you create a business email address. You don't need to add email addresses as user accounts. Instead, you can create email aliases and group addresses for your business communications. These types of addresses are free and don't count towards your Google Workspace user licenses. So your email, those email aliases or the group addresses um, will be good for one person. For example, you create the address info@yourcompanyname.com. If your company name is Mondewetu, you say info@mondewetu.com. That will be your group addresses. And you can do that for your customers to contact your company. You can add the address as an alias to your business address. Maybe say pindi@mondewetu.com. Now, messages sent to info@mondewetu.com also arrive in your other address, which we said, for example, it will be pindi@mondewetu.com. So it will. So if people are sending some messages to info, then you can also receive them. They will those messages will also land on your on your Gmail inbox as well. Then you can also create group addresses which are good for teams. If your team needs a business address like sales@mondewetu or support@mondewetu, you can create these addresses as groups. Then everyone in your sales team can receive messages sent to sales@yourcompanyname.com in their inbox as well. Then that is so now your step number 1, creating a business email address. And then step number 2, you add team members and users. Before people on your team can sign in and access all your Google Workspace services that are available, they will also need a user account. During your free trial period, so you will be getting a free trial period, you can create up to 10 user accounts during your trial period. If you are using the setup wizard, you'll follow steps to add users. Then after you have set up, you can also add users in the Google admin console. So we will talk more about adding users. So to add more than 10 users now, you must end your trial and sign up for the flexible or annual billing plan. So if this is now, if you want to add more than 10 users for your company, and if you are using the setup wizard, you choose the manual setup option to open the Google admin console, and then you click on billing. Then you will be able to change the settings and be able to add more than 10 users for your Google Workspace. Then step number 3, you need to migrate your data and import the files. When switching to Google Workspace from another application or service, whatever service you were using, maybe you were using Microsoft Outlook, you can now bring your existing mail, your contacts, and calendar data with you to when you are now switching to Google Workspace. So you don't have to start everything from scratch. You can just move your work. Maybe you were using Microsoft Outlook. You can just migrate that work or those messages. Maybe it could be emails, your contacts, your calendar as well. You move it with you to Google Workspace. You don't have to get there and get to Google Workspace and start everything all over again. You can also upload all the documents into your new Google Workspace drive to store files securely. So what you do at the end, then you migrate or you move all your data from whatever service you were using before, you move it now to Google Workspace. Okay, now I'm going to pause for questions. I feel like I have been talking a lot. Let's see if we have any questions or comments from our chat box. Earlier on, we asked if you have any idea what Google Workspace is and if you know what it is used for, or even if you are already using Google Workspace at the moment. Okay, I see we have no questions at the moment, so I'm going to move on now, and we are going to look at how do you boost communication across your business. So before we start with boosting your communication across the business, let us know which tools can you use via Google Workspace to boost communication. Which tools, we've already mentioned some of the tools that you can use on Google Workspace. Which tools do you think you can use to boost communication on Google Workspace for your business? You can use our chat box to respond to this question, or if you have any other comments. Okay, let's look at the key communication tools that are available on Google Workspace. We're looking at Gmail, Google Meet, Google Currents, and Google Chats. And Google Chats as well. So these are the 4 communication tools that are found via Google Workspace. Let's look at each of these tools individually. Okay, so we are going to look at Gmail first. Communicating globally with ease. So communicating easily using Google is free, and you can use, and that tool is called Gmail. So it is a communicating tool that you can use globally, and it's easy to use, and it is free on Google Workspace. With Gmail, you can send some files as attachments. So you can send an email, attach the files that you want to share. You can create groups and mailing lists. So you are able to use Gmail to create groups and mailing lists to make it easy for you to send your emails on a certain group of people that you want to send to. And you also are able to access the integrated calendar in order to stay connected and up to date. You can use the calendar for both personal and for team use or for work purposes. So with a Gmail, it comes with a calendar on it that you can use to remind yourself of your appointment so that you don't miss anything and you always stay connected and are aware of everything that is happening around you. The latest Gmail makes it easy to stay on top of the work that matters. Like I said, there is also a Google Calendar where you'll always stay on top of things. It is also secure, and you can add free email as a foundation. You can also chat on the email. You can make some voice or video calls and stay on top of project work with sharing some files and some work or tasks all there in Gmail. You don't have to move. Well, as long as you are there on Gmail, you can do all these things there for free. You can even build customer trust by giving everyone in your company a professional email address at your domain. Like, for example, like we said, an example will be Pindile at then your company name, or Zola at your company name. For example, it could be Pindi at Schoolnet or Zola at Schoolnet. These will show your customers that they can trust your business because they are also email addresses. Not people are using company email addresses, not their personal one. You can also create group mailing lists such as sales at your company name, for example, sales at Mondewetu. And you can also use suggested actions like your smart reply, smart compose, grammar suggestions. You won't send emails that have wrong grammar. You'll be able to fix a grammar and nudges. It will help you to stay on top of your work and take care of simple tasks or simple things so you can be more efficient with your time. Google Mail or Gmail also will assist you to keep your information safe as well. And Gmail also works very well with desktop clients such as Microsoft Outlook, Apple Mail, or Mozilla Thunderbird. Outlook users can just sync their emails or events and contacts to their other calendars or from Google Workspace. So they can just sync to Google Workspace or sync from Google Workspace to wherever they want to. So that is how a Google email or Gmail will assist you. That is a tool that will assist you with communication across your business. Let's now look at Google Meet. Google Meet will keep you will also assist you to with communication. It will keep your team connected with enterprise grade video conferencing, which is built in on Google's Repast, and it is secure as well. So Google Meet is included within Google Workspace as well, or G Suite for education. So you can just take advantage of the same secure infrastructure, which has built-in protection and global network as well. So Google will users know that their information is secure and it is safeguarded as well. So Google Meet has a video as well. There is Google Meet video where you can have meetings using Google Meet video as well, and it is also included with Google in Google Workspace. Like I said, you can just join meeting directly from your calendar uh, or an email invite that you have received. All of the in-person event details are right there when you need them on Google Meet, whether you are joining from a computer, a phone, or a conference room. So with Google Meet, you can just join using your phone or a computer as well. Okay, now let's look at Google Currents. Google Current also is another tool you can use to improve communication across your business. You can engage employees, you can foster more meaningful conversations using Google Currents, and you can stay connected with your team. You can work towards a common goal and build a community on Google Current. You are able to communicate your ideas or suggestions, and in that way you will also get instant free feedback from the people you're communicating with. You get to share your ideas with employees and gather inputs as well, and connect with team members no matter where they are. So with Google Current as well, you are able to connect. Doesn't matter where people are, you are able to connect with them. Even the remote workers, or what we call deskless colleagues, people who don't come into the office all the time, you can stay plugged in to, and they will be able to also receive company updates and conversations with on Google Currents. You can discuss some topics with employees across your organization, or the posts and comments that you make. So the most important content is that if you're using Google Currents home stream, which is ranked by relevant for each user, you will be able to follow some tags and topics that are being shared, and you are also able to manage your content very well. So Google Current is great as well, mostly for being used within the organization. Okay, let's now look at Google Chat and see how also Google Chats will be able to enhance communication in your organization. So Google Chats is where you can use it for direct messages, for group conversations. Google Chats will help your team and businesses to communicate uh, efficiently from anywhere as well. It is secure. You can connect with anyone you work with. You can even take group work to the next level with sharing these chats. You can share files and tasks on Google Chat. And Google Chat is offered to Google Workspace customers as well. It's no additional cost. So you don't have to pay more to use Google Chat. It is also provided for all the Google Workspace customers. You can upload items from Drive, collaborate on documents, or Google Sheets or slides. You can join online meeting with Google Meet, or use Google Powerful Search to look up room members, past conversation, and some files that you have shared before. So you can use Google Chats for that as well. Google Chats is also built on Google Workspace's security, and you can also be happy that your information is safe and secure as well when you are using Google Chats. And you can also get your responses instantly, as Google Chats can be used as an instant messaging tool as well. So now that we have looked at these tools and we know which tools help to boost communication, let's now discuss some tips that you can use to make sure that your communication or your collaboration in the business is effective when using Google Workspace. So let's look at top tips to maximize your communication. Okay. Yeah, so these are the 4 tips that we are going to share with you, which is recreate in-person communication, stay organized, create team mailing lists, and number 4, set up projects or team rooms. Let's look at tip number 1, which is create in-person communication. With create in-person communication, what do we mean? We have 4 ways of recreating in-person communication, which include scheduling regular team calls and check-ins via Google Meet and Hangouts. So this will ensure that your communication is effective, because when you have regular meetings and you can use Google Meet and Google Hangouts for this, you you are guaranteeing that the in-person communication, your organization doesn't lose on that, because you are scheduling regular team calls, regular team meetings, you're checking on each other, checking project progress all the time. You also connect with colleagues and teams across the globe. You need to do that. That is also another way to recreate in-person communication. Connect with colleagues and teams across the globe, everywhere they are. Brainstorm some ideas with them, work on team projects, and hold virtual events as well. This promotes in-person communication and make sure that no one loses touch of what is happening in the business. You also join from your mobile and desktop devices, which makes it even easier to communicate. Step number 2, you need to stay organized. Staying organized, mostly we're talking about using Google Calendar and how the calendar can improve communication by keeping you organized. We did say that on your calendar, you can highlight important dates, important meetings, and you'll get your reminders and you will stay organized in that way. So you improve communication across teams by using Google Calendar. You can create multiple team calendars so that you are able to track some meetings, training sessions maybe that are there, vacations, and more. So you know what's happening with your teammates as well, and they also know what's happening with you, because all your activities are there on your calendar. You improve visibility and organization by ensuring that all team sessions, vacations, and all that, and also you ensure that all team members remain connected all the time. You spend less time planning and more time doing, because you get to share your calendar, which will integrate with your Gmail, your Google Drive, your contacts, your sites, and Google Meet. So you always know what's next on your calendar. You always know what you need to do next every day. We are able to schedule some events very quick by checking on your colleagues' calendars, check their availabilities, and be able, when you are able to view, they've shared their calendars, we are able to check who's available when. Therefore, it's very quick for you to schedule more events or some meetings, knowing that the time that you've selected is okay for everyone. You can share calendars so that people can see full event details, or just when are you free, for example. Then that way they can also schedule some more events if they need to. So that is how you stay organized using Google Calendar. Step number 3, you need to create team mailing list. You need to create a groups or Google groups email list, such as your team at google.com or sales at google.com, such email address list. So that when you want to send email addresses from the team, then if you use team at Google, then you know that this team will receive these emails. You include their email addresses in this group email. And you know, when you've used Teams at google.com, then your email, your communication will go to the right people. Or if you're using, for example, sales at gmail.com, then your message or your email will go to all the sales people. It gets easier like that. So you create a group or a Google Groups email list. And you can therefore send status updates to these groups. You can CC the group into emails that they need to know. Instead of you typing every single email at a time, you can just CC team at Google, or sales at Google. If you want to CC the sales team, you are able to share resources to groups and increase visibility and foster some communication as well. Step number 4, you need to set up project or team rooms. You can encourage your team members to stay connected by creating a room on Google Chat or chat in Gmail. So when you chat in Gmail, then you are able to chat to your team or your group that you want to chat to. Or you create a room on Google Chat where you place people in this room, the people that you want to chat with at a certain time. So you need to encourage your team members to stay connected by creating these rooms where people will know where to chat or where to communicate with their teammates, in which room or in which chat. Encourage team members to network with each other, share project ideas, exchange some thoughts on some of the best practices that can be used to improve your business ethics and things like that, and create strong sense of community in that way. So that is now our 4th step, where you improve communication by setting up project or team rooms to make it easy for each team to communicate within the business. So before we move into the final section of our discussion, and let me check if we have any question. I would pause now to see if we have questions or comment from other people. I see we have Brenda Muhale who says Google Meet is easy to use and able to share online documents. Agreed, Brenda. It's very easy, and it also has a video, which is what I like about it. Then you can, even if you haven't seen your colleagues or your workmates in a long time, you are able to use Google Meet and you can just even get to see each other. So yeah, Google Meet is great and easy to use, and you are able to even share documents while you are on your meeting on Google Meet, which is very easy for you to do and makes life very easy for your week. Sibongile Jonas says, I think it will be good if demonstrations can be added to what is presented. As a viewer, I had that sense to see the practical part as it is done now with Gmail. Okay, we've already answered that question, Sibongile, on our chat box. I hope you got your response, but thank you so much for that comment. We do welcome some suggestions as well. Thank you so much, Sibongile, for that comment. And thank you to Brenda. Thank you guys for joining our session this afternoon. Okay, we don't have any more questions, so I'm going to move now to our last part of our presentation for the day, which is where we will look at how you can leverage some tools to increase collaboration. Maybe you can also share with us the tools that you can use on Google Workspace to increase collaboration. Which tools do you think you can use on Google Workspace to increase collaboration? Maybe you're already using some of these tools. You can just share your experience with us. Let us know which tools are you using and how has it been for you to increase collaboration for your business. So to collaborate across projects and teams, we're going to look at what it means to collaborate across projects and teams and which tools can you use. We're going to look at the 4 key ways of collaborating across projects and team, which is brainstorm ideas, share working files, make suggestions, and tag colleagues. And also number 4, track the changes that are happening. So we're now going to look at each of these ways of collaborating individually. Okay, we're going to look at Gemboard, which is a tool that can be used to increase team collaboration. Gemboard is connected to the cloud as well, and it enables people in different locations to work together in real time through multiple touch points. So there is an example there of a picture of how Gemboard would look like. So you can allow people in different locations, wherever they are, to work on this one tool at the same time through multiple touch points. So that's how Gemboard can be used. With Gemboard, you can write and draw with the included stylus. So Gemboard has a stylus or a pen that is available. You can just click on that and you can use it to make some drawings, as you can see there, or to write something there as well. You can search Google and insert some images or pictures or even web pages on Gemboard. So you can just search and find the links that you're looking for, or search on Google, insert some images that you want to be included on your Gemboard. You can even drag and resize the text that you've included and the images with just using your fingers. You can sketch we have a sketcher box, you have star, cat, or dragon. These are some of the image recognition technologies that you can use on Gemboard, and you can convert your sketch into a nice polished image once it's done. Then you can share this Gemboard with other people, uh, collaborators, up to about 50 people that can work on one Gemboard at the same time. So it is a great tool that you can use on Google. You can add Google Docs, you can add sheets, Google Slides on this one Gem or Gemboard. You can view and edit your Gem files from anywhere within in when you have internet connection. It doesn't matter when you are. So your work also saves automatically within a Gemboard as well. You can just create, edit, and share your Gemboard from your phone, your tablet, or even your computer. You can open it on a nearby you can open your Gemboard also from your phone and tablet, so you can share and even open it yourself on your phone or a tablet. You can also connect your computer to a Gemboard, then it will display on your screen, and you can be able to control the computer from the Gemboard touchscreen. When you while working on it, and if you have to stop, you can just pick up where you left off earlier on when you had to stop, or you can even email your Gem session when you finish working on it. You can just share it by emailing it to others. Let's now look at Google Drive. uh, with Google Drive, you can store files on the cloud as well. So you can store files on the cloud via Google Drive, enabling you to share working documents, presentations, and some Google Sheets with ease. It will be easy for you once your files are stored on Google Drive to just share with them very easy with your collaborators or your team, or whoever you want to share your documents with. And with a Google Drive, it will encourage collaboration, and you can just be able to work from one central file as an organization or as a team. You can just work on one central file, not have a lot of different files which are doing the same, which are serving the same purpose. Google Workspace provides flexible storage options that you can choose a storage option, so we'll be able to have enough space for your file. So you can choose an option that will allow you to enough space. You know how much space you need. Even if you don't know, you can just Google Workspace will allow you enough space for you to work or for you to save your files with centralized administration, data loss prevention, and vault for Drive. You can easily manage the users, and you can manage how you share your files to help you meet your data compliance needs. You can also use shared drives to store your team's work in a very secure and easy to manage space. Any files that are added to the shared drives are owned. They can be owned collectively by the team. So if you have files that you add on your shared drive, then those files will be owned by your team. So anyone in your team will be able to have access to the files, which is easy and it will make things easy for you to work, as everyone will stay up to date and stay informed with what is happening. You can also, with Google Drive, collaborate on live documents and files. Like you said, you are able to work on the documents, different people working on the documents in real time. So, and also it's easy to share, to comment on these documents, to take and to edit team documents, very easy as well. So that is now your Google Drive. Like we said, that with Google Drive, you give rights for people to edit or suggest or even tag the colleagues. So you will be able to, your colleagues will be able to edit some shared documents in real time, which reduces the need for you to keep emailing or sharing back and forth files. You can suggest some changes that you think should be done in your files, comment with some ideas, and tag your colleagues so that they are aware that they need to go check something else. And also, this will boost collaboration and increase visibility to everyone. You are able to track changes as well that are happening on your documents. If you maybe you're collaborating or working with several people on a single file, it can be difficult to pinpoint exactly who made certain changes and when. But with Google Docs, you will be able to keep track of these changes in your shared files, the files that you shared. If a group of you are working in a file, it's easy to keep track of changes that are happening by identifying changes, and it will show you who made those changes. You can also revert to a previous version if you want. If maybe a lot of changes have been made but you still feel you want the previous version of the document, you can just revert to that document. Google Workspace will enable you to view all edits that are made to the document that you shared or to your files. It will allow you to restrict access, like we said, that you are able to manage your files by giving access that you want to people. You are able to track changes and approve some suggestions that people are making to ensure collaboration efforts will be managed and viewed effectively. So that you can do all of that in your Google document. So just to give you some steps on how to view changes that are happening on your documents. Step 1, you need to open your file that is stored on Google Drive. Step 2, from documents or docs, sheets, or slides, depending on the type of a document that you are opening. So you go to your Google Drive, open the file that you want. It could be a Google Doc, could be Google Sheets, Google Slide. Once you've opened it, you go to File, then go to Version History, and then go to See Version History. Once you are there, then you'll be able to see the changes that happened, or to view the history in terms of what has been happening in your document. For you to do all of this, then you need to be the owner or the editor to the file. So you need to either be the owner of the file, be the one who created the file, the original file, or you need to have been given access to edit that file. Then if you have access to edit, you are an editor in the file, or you are the file owner, then you are able to review the changes that are happening by following the steps that I've been telling you. So I said you open your file on Google Drive, then you go to the Google Drive, open the file that you want, you go to version history and go to See Version History. Then after that, you will then need to click a timestamp to see a previous version of the file. Once you click on timestamp, then you will be able to see the previous version. You'll see how the file was like before it was edited. Then after that, you can just revert or the work if you want to. This is now optional, depending on what is it that you want. Why were you checking your version history? So you can just revert to the original before edit, or you can rename the file or copy a previous version where you will then click on restore this version to make it the active version. Then you name that version to name a previous to so that you are able to distinguish, or make a copy to create a copy of a previous version if you want. You can also see who's opened a file you've shared, what changes happened, or what has changed since the last time you were there in that file, and who have shared the file to, and with who, and who has commented, who has edited, who has moved that file, or even shared it with other people. Okay, then now I'm going to pause again and see if we have any more questions regarding our topic today, or any other comments or suggestions, or even in could be anything that you would like us to consider for our sessions, or just for today's session. Okay, let's see. It seems like we don't have any questions or comments. Okay, yeah, we don't have any questions or comments at this point. So let me just remind you of our free one-on-one mentoring that is available from Google. So if you own a small business or a charity, you can just sign up for Google Mentoring. There is our link there for you to sign up for a free one-on-one mentoring that is available from Google. Excuse me. This is a great opportunity for small businesses and charities as well. So it's a free mentoring. You can use this opportunity from Google, which is free, to access more information, to access more of the ways you can use to grow your business. So now let's see what are the next steps now that we have today shown you how you can use Google Workspaces to improve collaboration and communicating for your business. Now, what you can do, you can follow. Sorry, you can just follow us on social media to see what other sessions or what other training we have. Then you can be able to get more information on how to make things easy for you and your business partners and customers, especially now that we also most people are working from home because of the pandemic, and some businesses are even considering staying like that and not going back to offices, as they have seen that there are tools out there they can use that will make it easy for them to collaborate and still work as a team even though they are in different places. So what is the one other thing you will do or change following today's session? What will you implement? So you can just let us know what is it that you have learned today, what you will be able to implement from it. And you can just also follow us on social media to get more information and see more of our sessions that are coming, and see if there's anything you're interested in, then you will be able to not miss out when you follow us. So we are Digital Skills for Africa on Facebook, Digital Skills AF on Twitter, Digital Skills AF on Instagram. Also, you can follow SchoolNet South Africa on Facebook, SchoolNet South Africa on Twitter, SchoolNet South Africa on Instagram. We have another session again tomorrow at 4 in the afternoon. Please do follow us on social media to find out more details. Where you will see the time and the link for you to connect to our session tomorrow. Don't forget, we are SchoolNet SA on Facebook, we are SchoolNet SA on Instagram, SchoolNet SA on Twitter, and SchoolNet South Africa on LinkedIn. So do follow us on social media, and do follow Google Digital Skills for Africa as well. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for staying with us through this session. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you so much.